Hi, my name is Amaya Ramirez, and today I will be going into depth about the light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis. How it works. Okay, so first I just want to go into going over the overview about what is in chloroplasts and just my drawings here that I drew. So this first one just shows the inside of chloroplasts. First off, I just want to say these little discs in here are called a thylakoid, and that is labeled here, and there are H2O molecules that I drew here, and they get light energy from the sun, which I drew here, and then over here, down here, it shows the outer membrane of the chloroplast, the inner membrane, the stroma, which holds all of the discs and all of the granium, and granium is a whole bunch of the discs. So if it is just one separate one, it is a thylakoid. But if it is a bunch, then it is called a granum. And now we will be going into depth about the whole light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis and how it works. So the light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis converts light energy into chemical energy. And the goal of the light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis is to gain energy from the sun and to break down water molecules to produce ADP and NADPH. These energy-storing molecules are then used in the second reaction, which is independent reaction of photosynthesis. But we won't get into detail about the second reaction. We'll just be focusing on the first one. So inside the chloroplast, chlorophyll is the pigment that collects sunlight. It is stored in the thylakoid membranes and in protein complexes, which are photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. And the light-dependent reaction occurs when sunlight, which is here, which is the arrow right here, hits a molecule of chlorophyll, which is here, that is in photosystem 2. This then triggers the electron, which is right here, which leaves the chlorophyll, so the electron will leave the chlorophyll and travels along the thylakoid membrane. This photosystem 2 splits a water molecule to restore the lost electron because the electron left. So they need somewhere to gain energy. So that's why they need to split the H2O. So they split the H2O into half O2 plus 2H+. Oxygen is then released as a waste product, and oxygens that are separated join together in pairs to create oxygen gas. The hydrogen ions gain a high concentration in the lumen, which is shown here. And due to the hydrogen ions gaining high concentration, they are then able to pass through the enzyme ATP synthesize, which is shown over here. So it started off over here, and then it will move all the way over here. So, as that happens, they are able to gain high concentration, and then they are able to pass through the ATP synthesize. The movement adds a third phosphate to ADP, which is shown here, to form ATP, which is shown right up here. So ADP will move into form ATP. As that happens, the electron is then released from photosystem 2, because it started here, photosystem 2, and it moved along the thylakoid membrane, and it moves all the way to photosystem 1. Photosystem 1 also contains chlorophyll. Energy from the sun is then passed right here on this arrow, as you can see, I stated light. And energy from the sun is then passed to the electron, thus allowing the electron to pass through the membrane and the stroma, which they are already in the stroma. This is when it will add the hydrogen ion and NADP plus right here, and it will turn to NADPH. ATP and NADPH, right here, NADPH and ATP, right here, are then moved from the thylakoid to the stroma. So they'll move and they'll probably stay around here. And then they'll move from the thylakoid to the stroma, and this is when the energy is stored to allow the second reaction to occur. So ADP and NADPH are formed at the end of the light-dependent reaction to allow the second reaction to occur, which is the light-independent reaction. So I'll be going over the recaps that we went over just now. So for light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis. So the main goal of light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis is to change light energy into chemical energy. And the location of that, I said, is in chloroplasts, thylakoids, and the input is sunlight, H2O, NADPH, and ADP. And the output, as I said, was NADPH, ATP, and O2. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope it helped you learn what light-dependent reaction of photosynthesis is and how it works.